These higher prices that we are paying are a direct result of the US-China trade war. In today's episode, we're going to break down exactly what the US-China trade war is, how it affects you, and we're going to learn how this fight started. We're going to track some of your stuff just to see where it comes from. I'm curious, right? And we're going to take a small quiz just to see if you learn some stuff. All right, you know how we do it here. We explain things in super simple terms. So, hey, let's go. I want you to imagine two lemonade stands who are fighting over who gets to sell the most lemonade. Now imagine one of those lemonade stands is the United States and the other lemonade stand is China. And the lemonade? Well, the lemonade is everything that we love and consume, our cell phones, our cars, our clothing. That is a trade war. So why are they fighting? All right. Imagine this. So the Chinese lemonade stand, they sell lemonade way cheaper because they use cheaper lemons, right? And sometimes they may have borrowed a recipe or two from their competition. So the American lemonade stand gets mad and says, hey, you gotta pay me $5 every time you sell here. Remember the tariffs we talked about? Yeah, that's a tariff. So the Chinese lemonade stand says, fine, I'll stop buying your cups. Again, that's a trade war. So let's break it down into some real life stuff. So this trade war conflict started with three core issues. The trade deficit. The US bought $500 billion more from China than it sold in 2017. Then there's tech theft, estimated $600 billion per year in IP theft. You know, remember borrowing the other kids' lemonade recipes? Yeah. And then there's national security. Huawei's 5G dominance, well, it just straight up spooked the Pentagon. Trump fired first with his tariffs in his first term. Then Biden doubled down on the tech bans. Then China retaliated by hoarding rare earth metals. You know, the metals we use for your batteries and stuff that you love. And then the economic shrapnel, well, it just hit everybody. What happened next was the tariff bloodbath. When the fighting started in 2018, the United States slapped 25% tariffs on $370 billion worth of Chinese goods. And the result? Well, things got more expensive. That new washing machine your mom had to buy was like $100 extra, a 12% hike. Bicycles were 30% more expensive. Companies panicked. Apple started making phones in India. Your Amazon cart, well, that basically became a list of your luxury purchase items now. China retaliated by targeting the US farmers, and the farmers got hurt, y'all. The soybean exports to China, well, they dropped 75%. And guess who picked up the slack? Yeah, their BRICS buddy, Brazil. They into the commodities game. And then the pork tariffs hit 78% for all your pork chop and bacon lovers. The result? Biden paid farmers $28 billion in bailouts. Hey, you're still here. Thank you so much for watching. Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps the channel out a lot. Buy us a coffee if you're so inclined to. All right, let's get back to it. The computer chip battle, the tech Cold War. The biggest fight is over computer chips. You know, the brains in your cell phone, your video game console, your smart TV. Well, the US banned advanced AI chips to China. They also banned the machines used to make the chips. And they also banned investing in Chinese tech firms. China's response? Well, China says, we'll just make our own. First, they started out by stockpiling 2 years worth of chips. And without getting too technical, they built a better way of making computer chips despite the bans. And then they flooded the market with cheap electric vehicles. Have you ever heard of a company called BYD? Well, it's an electric vehicle company that is dominating the rest of the world. You go to Southeast Asia, Europe, Brazil, Africa, you see these electric vehicles everywhere, and they're half the price and better quality than a Tesla. They don't want them here, 100% tariff. So why care about this? Because if China wins, they could control all the tech someday. And we already saw that movie. How this affects you, the global fallout. Here's the real talk. Your dollar is gonna buy way less than you're used to it buying, and that's already not enough. Prices are gonna stay high. Jobs are gonna change. Like some of our jobs that we have here may be moved because the fact is American workers are the most expensive workers on the planet. It's just cheaper for companies to move their production elsewhere. And then there's gonna be new rules, like they might ban TikTok again, I don't know. But companies aren't waiting around for the fallout. Like we talked about earlier, Apple moved 18% of its production to India. Tesla built a gigafactory in Shanghai. Talk about playing both sides. And Mexico became America's #1 trade partner. Now, no shade on Mexico. We love and we need them as our partner, but they don't make everything that China does. But here's the twist. China still makes 90% of the United States antibiotics and 80% of the solar panels. This is a messy divorce, y'all, like the kind where you gotta grab all your stuff and go stay in the basement. It's crazy. All right, y'all, it's time for our DIY challenge. I want you to grab 5 random things in your house, just anything, it don't matter, and check the labels, right? So, China, let's see, China, bottom of my coffee cup says China, China, and my little microphone, China, all right? Now, comment your made-in results below, and for a bonus, I want you to comment how much time it takes you to go around your house and find 5 items made in the United States. Just curious. All right, so now for the true or false quiz. 3 questions, real quick. True or false, the US banned all Chinese tech. False, just the chips and 5G technology. All right, true or false, your shoes cost more because of tariffs. True, we didn't have to wait on that one. Nike raises prices 10% already, y'all. Probably more about the time this comes out. And our final true or false question, you already got an answer to this earlier in the show, but Tesla's Shanghai factory sells cars to Americans. Think about it, right? That factory's for the Chinese customers, right? Wrong, or true, they do sell cars to American that are made in the Shanghai factory. Some of the US Model Ys are made in that factory. Ironic, huh? So now that you know a little bit about the US-China trade war, what can you do? Well, you don't have to panic. Just pay attention. Watch where your stuff is made. Learn a new skill. Coding, building, farming jobs, something. Stay curious. This stuff matters way more than Fortnite or the latest 2K, right? This is your life. Are you starting to see them now? The invisible strings pulling at our global economy? Stay sharp. Check your labels. And remember, the best way to predict the future is to understand the present. Until next time, you guys, take care of each other, love one another. Peace. All right, time for our do it yourself, DIY, DIY.